Nothing restores your faith in humanity like watching a delivery driver yeet your new TV over a fence. 1. The concrete coffin delivery. In Arizona, a man ordered a $2,000 marble bathtub, the kind you'd expect to see in a luxury spa or the home of a Bond villain. The delivery driver, apparently mistaking fragile for "please perform a drop test," slid it off the truck bed like it was a pizza box. The sound it made was less satisfying thunk and more Greek tragedy in surround sound. When the customer called customer service, they offered a $50 coupon and asked if he'd like to keep the broken pieces for parts. Parts of what? His shattered dreams? The driver's excuse was even better. It looked sturdy. That's right. The man turned a $2,000 bathtub into 200 pounds of modern art and still clocked out on time. Somewhere, Newton's third law just filed a formal complaint. 2. The mystery of the vanishing pizza. A guy in Ohio ordered pizza delivery. Nothing fancy, just pepperoni and hope. But when he opened the box, there was only one slice inside. The delivery driver insisted he'd checked the box before leaving the store, which raised one very disturbing question. Checked for what? Flavor? Turns out, the man's security camera footage caught the driver parked outside, happily eating 5 slices before strolling up to the door like he'd just done the Lord's work. When confronted, the driver shrugged and said, "Well, I was hungry, and technically you didn't order how many slices." Corporate refunded the meal, but the internet crowned him the Robin Hood of pizza, stealing carbs from the rich to feed the underpaid. 3. The backyard TV burial. A woman in Texas waited 2 weeks for her brand new 65-inch smart TV. Finally, it arrived, or rather, it landed. Her doorbell camera caught the driver chucking the massive box over a 6-foot fence with Olympic precision. The package hit the ground, bounced once, and the sound of glass shattering echoed like a funeral bell for modern electronics. When she called the delivery company, they told her the driver marked the order as delivered safely, no customer contact. Well, technically true. There was no contact. The TV was later replaced, but not before the clip went viral. The best comment under the video? Bro unlocked the free throw achievement, 10-10 form, 0 awareness. 4. The package that joined witness protection. Somewhere in the vast, soulless void of the U.S. postal system, a man's $200 camera lens simply vanished. Tracking showed it out for delivery, which, in courier language, apparently means, "We'll never speak of this again." After days of customer service limbo, he checked his security footage, and there it was, the driver walking up, scanning the package, then casually dropping it behind a random bush 3 houses down, not even his street. When confronted, the company claimed it must have been a GPS drift. Right, because satellites get lost like toddlers in Walmart. The neighbor eventually found it a week later, soaked from sprinklers, serving as a snail condo. The man tried to file a damage claim, but the company rejected it, saying technically it was delivered. Delivered where, exactly? The Twilight Zone? At this point, it's less a postal service and more a nationwide hide-and-seek league with uniforms. 5. The grocery guillotine. A woman in Florida ordered groceries for delivery: milk, bread, eggs, and 1 fragile watermelon. The driver, running late, decided to multitask. He texted, drove, and carried all 12 bags in one arm like a grocery-themed Hercules. What he didn't anticipate was gravity, which promptly yeeted the watermelon out of the bag and onto the customer's porch, exploding in a cinematic splash of pink carnage. The man froze, stared at the pulp like it had personally betrayed him, then did something incredible. He tried to scoop it back in. The woman opened the door to see him cradling melon chunks like a battlefield medic, whispering, "It's still good." When she asked what happened, he said, "It jumped." Not fell. Jumped. Somewhere out there, a watermelon ghost is suing for defamation. 6. The driveway laptop sacrifice. A college student in Oregon finally got the new laptop he'd saved up for all semester. Unfortunately, the delivery driver had the precision aim of a catapult. Instead of walking the 5 feet to the porch, he frisbee-tossed the box across the driveway. The laptop skidded like a curling stone and slammed into the garage door. The footage went viral instantly, partly because the driver didn't even flinch. He just scanned it, took a photo for proof of delivery, and drove off like a man who'd already emotionally quit his job. When the student filed a complaint, the company apologized and offered a $5 credit. $5, enough to buy a sympathy coffee, not a new MacBook. The driver was reportedly retrained, which we can only assume involved watching his own highlight reel and being told, "Next time, aim softer." 7. The freezer that defied physics. A man ordered a 300-pound deep freezer from an appliance store. The delivery crew arrived. 2 guys, 1 dolly, and 0 sense of strategy. They decided stairs were optional and attempted to push the freezer up the porch ramp at a 45-degree angle. Gravity had other plans. The freezer toppled backward in slow motion, hit the driveway, and burst open like a frosty crime scene. Ice packs, insulation, and one man's dignity scattered everywhere. The customer, watching from the window, could only mouth the words, "You've got to be kidding me." The best part? They still asked him to sign for it, claiming it was technically delivered in working condition, which I suppose was true if your definition of working includes being split in half like a magician's prop. He refused, of course, but the paperwork photo lives forever. 2 men posing proudly beside a corpse-shaped appliance. 8. The dog-intercepted delivery. A woman in Idaho ordered a package of gourmet coffee beans, small, harmless, caffeine-packed joy. The delivery driver, seeing the family dog behind a glass door, assumed it was friendly. It was not. He left the package on the porch and gave the doorbell a polite ring. The dog launched itself through the screen like an action movie stunt double, shredded the box, and proudly distributed Colombian roast all over the yard. When customer service asked for photo evidence, she sent a picture of her golden retriever sitting in a pile of beans, tongue out, eyes wide, and absolutely wired. The company refunded her, but the dog spent the next 6 hours vibrating like an over-caffeinated blender. Somewhere, a vet probably got a call that started with, "So, hypothetically, how much espresso can a 70-pound animal handle?" 9. The ultimate safe place delivery. A couple in Wisconsin ordered a $600 espresso machine and left delivery instructions. "Please place the package in a safe spot." The driver, clearly a man of creative interpretation, decided the garbage bin counted as safe. After all, it had a lid. The next morning, the couple rolled the trash to the curb, blissfully unaware their shiny new espresso maker was inside, and it took its final ride to the landfill. When they contacted the company, the representative said, "Our records show it was placed securely." Oh, it was secure, all right, under 2 tons of municipal waste. The company offered a replacement, but the couple asked if they could retrieve the original. The answer, not unless you want to chase a garbage truck through Milwaukee. Somewhere, that espresso machine is making lattes for raccoons. 10. The cemented package. In Nevada, a contractor ordered a $1,000 set of custom tools. When the package didn't arrive, he checked his security footage. And there it was, half buried in freshly poured cement. The delivery driver, in a galaxy brain moment of efficiency, decided to save time by walking across the wet driveway instead of around it. Halfway through, he sank ankle deep and panicked, dropping the box like a Titanic lifeboat and sprinting out of frame. The man came home to find perfect footprints frozen in concrete and a cardboard tomb in the middle. When he called the delivery company, they said the driver had completed delivery successfully. Oh, absolutely. If you define success as archaeological exhibit. It took a hammer, chisel, and 3 hours to free the package, which now looked like a fossilized artifact from the Dumb Age. Somewhere, that driver's spirit lives on in a museum labeled Early Human Mistakes. 11. The drone strike delivery. In California, a tech-savvy courier company decided to test drone deliveries. One customer, excited to receive his new phone the futuristic way, recorded the drop-off. The drone hovered, beeped proudly, then, instead of lowering the package, simply released it from 60 feet in the air. The box hit the ground with the energy of a meteor. The man ran outside to find what looked like a modern art installation of shattered glass and battery acid. Customer support cheerfully said, "Our records show successful delivery." He replied, "Yeah, if the goal was re-entry from orbit." The company later admitted the drone's grip malfunctioned. In other words, gravity did its job perfectly, and technology didn't. The video went viral under the title, "Amazon's Air-to-Ground Missile Program." The best comment? "Congratulations, you just invented same-day impact shipping." 12. The refrigerator slide of doom. In Kentucky, a delivery crew was tasked with bringing a new stainless steel fridge up a customer's steep driveway. Instead of using straps, they chose the power of momentum, tilting the appliance onto a dolly and letting gravity handle the rest. The result looked like a rejected scene from Jackass, Home Depot edition. The fridge shot downhill, gained speed, hit a bump, and performed a majestic half-spin before colliding with the porch railing. The men stood in stunned silence, as if witnessing a noble creature perish. When they rang the doorbell, the customer asked, "Where's the fridge?" They pointed to the wreckage like battlefield reporters. "Right there, ma'am." Their incident report said minor surface damage. Minor. The door was folded like origami. She refused the delivery, but the footage made her local news, a reminder that Newton's laws remain undefeated, especially against part-time furniture movers. Letter 13. The toilet on the lawn. A man in Ohio ordered a new toilet. Simple, right? The delivery driver apparently thought curbside delivery meant literally the curb. When the man came home from work, he found his shiny porcelain throne sitting majestically on the front lawn, fully visible to the neighborhood, glinting in the sun like some bizarre suburban art installation. It rained overnight, filling it perfectly with water. By morning, a confused squirrel had taken up residence. When he called the company, they said the driver couldn't locate the porch. "You mean the porch attached to the house?" The man left it outside for 2 weeks out of spite, and it became a local landmark. Neighbors started calling it the Throne of Elm Street. Kids took selfies with it. The company eventually sent a replacement, but the legend remained. Somewhere in Ohio, that toilet still stands, a monument to both plumbing and stupidity. 14. The aquarium apocalypse. A pet store owner in Oregon ordered a shipment of rare tropical fish, over $3,000 worth. The driver, apparently allergic to reading this side up, stored the boxes sideways in his van for 6 hours on a 90-degree day. By the time he arrived, the bags inside looked like seafood soup. When confronted, he insisted he had no idea what was in them, because obviously those water-filled bags labeled live fish could have been anything, maybe liquid paperweights? The owner opened one box in front of him, and the smell alone nearly made the man resign on the spot. The delivery company offered a 10% discount on future aquatic shipments, as if they expected him to immediately restock his underwater morgue. He didn't, but the incident did inspire a new store policy sign: "Please handle with more care than the average human brain." 15. The air fryer that went to war. A woman in New Jersey ordered an air fryer for Christmas, her one splurge purchase. The driver dropped it off during a snowstorm, marked it "delivered safely," and left it on top of her mailbox. By morning, it had fallen, rolled into the street, and been plowed directly into the path of a snow truck. She found the box later, dented, frozen, and embedded in ice like the world's saddest time capsule. The company asked her to return it for inspection. Return what? The metal was fused into the road like Excalibur. When she finally got a refund, she told them to keep it. It's officially part of the neighborhood now. The snowplow driver said he saw it fly across the road like a UFO, and somewhere in a winter landfill, a half-melted air fryer still dreams of making fries, if it ever thaws out. 16. The mattress that went missing. A couple in Minnesota ordered a king-sized memory foam mattress, hoping for a soft landing after decades of spring coils. Delivery day arrived, and the truck stopped in the middle of the street. The driver ran inside for a quick call and came out 20 minutes later holding a piece of cardboard, insisting the mattress was on the roof. The couple blinked. Yes, the mattress had somehow ended up atop a neighbor's garage, apparently rolled there by a combination of wind, enthusiasm, and questionable physics. When they called the delivery company, the representative sighed and said, "It's technically delivered." Sure, if by delivered, you mean it's now a new architectural feature on someone else's property. The neighbors were delighted, calling it the scenic sleeping installation. Eventually, a crane had to relocate it, but only after several local news cameras recorded the high-flying memory foam stunt. Somewhere, that mattress still tells tales of courage, elevation, and gravity betrayal. 17. The plant that wasn't in Florida, a customer ordered a large potted fiddle-leaf fig tree, the kind that makes your apartment look like a boutique hotel lobby. The driver, apparently assuming it could self-propel, left it on the edge of the porch. Overnight, the wind turned it into a rolling hazard, smashing through a neighbor's mailbox, knocking over a bicycle, and scattering soil like a brown snowstorm. When the customer called, the company's only suggestion was, "Place heavier items on your porch next time." Right, because apparently human guidance and common sense are optional in delivery. By morning, the luxury tree looked like it had survived a hurricane while starring in a slapstick comedy. The neighbor threatened to call City Hall for landscaping assault. It took 3 trips, multiple apologies, and a new mailbox to settle the incident. Somewhere, that plant has probably been renamed the Tornado Ficus, immortalized in local legend. 18. The chaotic coffee maker. A man in Ohio ordered a high-end espresso machine. Delivery instructions: place inside kitchen, do not drop. Simple, right? Wrong. The driver apparently interpreted this as toss lightly toward threshold, hope for the best. Footage shows the box sailing over a small decorative fence, landing on its corner, and bouncing once like a launch pad. Inside, the espresso machine performed its own version of chaos theory, parts shifting, levers snapping, and a tiny latte art of destruction forming on the counter. Customer service assured him all parts should function. Spoiler, they didn't. Returning it required a 45-minute drive to the warehouse, an hour on hold, and a driver who apparently thought apology meant shrug and smile. The man eventually got a replacement, but not before posting the video online, instantly going viral as Espresso Airborne Edition. Somewhere, that original coffee machine dreams of cappuccinos it will never brew. 19. The sofa launch event. In Illinois, a couple purchased a sectional sofa. Delivery day arrived, and the driver decided to slide it down the driveway instead of carrying it. What followed was pure slapstick. The sofa spun like a curling stone, hit the garage door, and ricocheted into a decorative planter. The driver, rather than intervening, filmed it for documentation purposes. The planter was demolished, a gnome decapitated, and the driveway carpeted in fabric fibers. The couple arrived to witness what looked like a scene from a home improvement horror movie. Corporate offered a partial refund, claiming the sofa was delivered in acceptable condition. Acceptable. The definition clearly involves impromptu demolition. The gnome's ghost still haunts the curb. Online, the footage gained thousands of views with the caption, "DIY physics lesson, never trust furniture delivery." 20. The ice cream disaster. A family in New York ordered a bulk delivery of ice cream for a summer party. The delivery truck's coolant system failed mid-route, leaving 100 pounds of frozen joy to melt into sticky chaos. When the driver arrived, he handed over soggy tubs like it was a water balloon fight. The family tried to salvage some, but every scoop turned into a puddle on the porch, ants marching like tiny invaders. Customer service claimed the ice cream was technically delivered, prompting the father to respond, "Yes, delivered into chaos." Social media captured the incident as melted mayhem, and the story spread like wildfire. The company apologized, but the family insisted the children now have permanent trauma regarding chocolate fudge swirl. Somewhere, ants still reminisce about that summer feast. 21. The vacuum that flew. A woman in Colorado ordered a high-powered vacuum cleaner online. Delivery day came, and the driver placed it safely on the porch. The next morning, a gust of wind picked up the box, sending it over the railing like a projectile. The vacuum landed in the flower bed below, scattering mulch like confetti. Footage shows the driver watching from a distance, clearly proud. The customer called, and the representative said, "Delivery was successful. The product is intact." Intact? Yes, if intact includes minor dents and shattered pride. It took 2 trips to replace the vacuum, multiple calls, and 1 strongly worded social media post. The flower bed, however, remains traumatized. Somewhere, the vacuum dreams of cleaning floors without defying gravity. 22. The mystery parcel swap. In Texas, a man ordered a gaming console. Delivery day arrived, and the box left on the porch was not his console. Instead, he received a heavy package of miscellaneous hardware, bolts, screws, and a lonely garden gnome. The driver claimed the porch looked right, and the package was scanned correctly. The man spent an hour unraveling the mystery. The neighbor across the street had received his console. Customer service insisted both deliveries were on time and accounted for. After juggling calls, neighbors, and a minor existential crisis, he finally got the correct console. The gnome? It stayed, now serving as a makeshift paperweight and silent witness to one of humanity's dumbest delivery errors. 23. The blender that went rogue. A man in Georgia ordered a high-speed blender, excited to start his smoothie journey. Delivery day, however, became a scene from a comedy of errors. The driver, seeing the package on a slippery porch step, decided to adjust its placement with one swift kick. The box flew like a rocket, hitting the garden wall, bouncing off the mailbox, and landing in the yard. Inside, the blender's glass jar shattered spectacularly, covering the grass in shards like a miniature disco. Customer service insisted it was delivered per instructions, and when asked about replacement, they offered a partial refund. The man spent the afternoon carefully collecting pieces with a dustpan, cursing the laws of physics, and posting the incident online. The video went viral, tagged as "blender launch fail." Somewhere, that shattered jar is still a warning to humanity. Never underestimate porch gravity. 24. The sofa that became a water slide. A family in Oregon ordered a plush sectional sofa. Delivery coincided with a torrential rainstorm. The driver left it at the edge of the porch, thinking the customer could carry it inside later. Overnight, water pooled beneath the legs, creating a slick, swamp-like surface. By morning, the sofa had slid sideways, scraping the siding and tipping one cushion into the flower bed. When the homeowner arrived, the driver shrugged, claiming, "It's water-resistant." Technically true, resistant to staying in place. The family had to wrangle the soggy furniture back inside, soaking through boots, raincoats, and patience. Customer service apologized with a vague offer of a complimentary pillow, which did nothing for the missing flowers. Online, neighbors commented, "That's not delivery. That's a small-scale natural disaster." Somewhere, that sofa now recounts its brief career as a rogue waterslide. 25. The printer that levitated. A man in Michigan ordered a heavy office printer. Delivery instructions clearly read, "Handle carefully." When the driver arrived, he lifted the box awkwardly and set it gently onto the porch railing. Somehow, in a cinematic twist, the printer slid off and landed upright in the mulch, narrowly missing a ceramic gnome. The impact caused a loud snap and dislodged the toner cartridge. Customer service insisted delivery was confirmed, though the printer now required a minor surgery to function. The man posted the footage online. Viewers commented on its elegance and horror, dubbing it the printer levitation event of 2025. The driver was reportedly reprimanded, though his sense of judgment remains inexplicably intact. Somewhere, that printer still dreams of smoothly printing documents rather than performing acrobatics. T26. The frozen food fiasco. In Minnesota, a family ordered a week's worth of frozen groceries. Delivery day coincided with a sudden heat wave. The driver left all the items on the porch while retrieving his clipboard. By the time he returned, the groceries were a melty, aromatic mess. Ice cream had liquefied, frozen vegetables were soggy, and a bag of shrimp had exploded like a culinary volcano. The family called customer service, which assured them the items were delivered on time and in acceptable condition. The only acceptable part? The delivery timestamp. They had to make a last-minute grocery run for dinner, while social media friends laughed at the chaos photos. Somewhere, those shrimp became the unofficial ambassadors of porch neglect, leaving a lasting odor as a testament to human error. 27. The desk that tried to escape. A woman in Pennsylvania ordered a heavy office desk. The driver left it on the porch, then went inside for directions. Overnight, wind gusts caused the desk to shift, ultimately sliding down a ramp and tipping sideways into a flower bed. The metal legs bent, the laminate scratched, and one corner pierced a ceramic planter. When the customer called, the company said, "It was delivered as requested." Delivered, yes, but now it had acquired a permanent new shape, resembling abstract modern art more than functional furniture. Reluctantly, the company sent a replacement. The original desk was later salvaged as a garden decoration. Social media nicknamed it the desk that went rogue, a fitting tribute to suburban delivery chaos. 28. The BBQ grill launch. A man in Texas ordered a new gas grill. The delivery driver, balancing speed and efficiency, tossed it over the porch railing instead of carefully maneuvering it inside. The grill landed upside down in the yard, legs bent, and propane tank rolling toward the street like a metal tumbleweed. The homeowner stared in disbelief as the driver simply nodded. "Delivered, sir." After inspection, the grill was declared unusable. The company eventually replaced it, but the story went viral, with neighbors speculating the launch might have qualified as an Olympic sport. Somewhere, the original grill rests in suburban infamy, a monument to human overconfidence. 29. The mystery box of doom. A woman in New Jersey received a package labeled "Fragile Electronics." Upon opening, it was full of packing peanuts, random screws, and a broken umbrella. Tracking showed the correct box had been delivered to this address, but in reality, the driver had swapped it with a different package. Customer service insisted it was delivered as scanned. After hours of calls, the woman finally retrieved her real electronics from a confused neighbor. The false package became a local legend, often referred to as the mystery box of doom. Somewhere, those screws still lie in the grass, quietly judging humanity. 30. The frozen couch catastrophe. In Michigan, a family ordered a leather sofa during winter. The delivery crew, misjudging the icy driveway, slid the couch across a sheet of frozen snow. The leather tore on a corner, legs buckled, and one cushion flew into a snowbank. Footage shows the driver waving as if nothing happened. Customer service claimed on-time delivery, though the sofa was now a partial sculpture of frozen chaos. The family spent hours wrestling it inside, leaving skid marks on the carpet. Online, viewers called it the most epic furniture fail of the decade. Somewhere, that sofa still dreams of smooth living rooms rather than snowy acrobatics. 31. The door that fought back. A man in Ohio ordered a custom interior door, excited to finally replace the 1970s relic in his living room. Delivery day, however, quickly became a battle against physics. The driver left the door at the top of a narrow staircase and assumed the customer would bring it down later. Overnight, gravity intervened. The door toppled forward, skidding down the stairs like a snowboarder in a competition. It scraped walls, dented the hardwood, and left a faint echo of despair in the hallway. When the homeowner arrived, the driver proudly claimed, "It's delivered." Yes, technically, the door was present, just now defying its intended function. Customer service offered a partial refund but insisted it was a successful delivery. The homeowner needed 3 friends, 2 dollies, and a prayer to finally get the door into place. The door, however, retains permanent battle scars, each scratch a monument to human error, delivery overconfidence, and the quiet war between gravity and household expectations. Somewhere, that door tells stories of rebellion every time it squeaks open. 32. The microwave missile. In New Jersey, a woman ordered a countertop microwave. The delivery instructions were straightforward. Place on kitchen counter. The driver, apparently considering the counter optional, placed it on the porch railing. Overnight, a wind gust sent the box flying into the snowbank below, slamming into the garden gnome collection and sending a cascade of decorative despair across the yard. The next morning, she found the microwave slightly dented, the gnomes scattered like tiny victims of a war, and a snow-covered driveway resembling a scene from a holiday disaster movie. When she called the delivery company, they insisted it was delivered safely. Safely, perhaps, if you consider a dented appliance and traumatized gnomes an acceptable outcome. The replacement microwave arrived 2 days later, but the original incident was immortalized in neighborhood gossip and on social media. The gnomes, she claims, have not spoken since, silently judging both human error and the laws of physics. 33. The rolling office chair of doom. In Michigan, a man ordered a high-end office chair with ergonomic features to improve his work-from-home setup. The driver left it on the porch, but a strong overnight wind picked it up like a tiny furniture UFO, rolling it down the driveway and into the neighbor's flower bed. The chair's wheels dug trenches in the lawn, dislodged flowers, and toppled a small decorative fountain. Customer service insisted the chair was delivered intact, despite it now resembling a metal sculpture of chaos. The homeowner had to negotiate with the neighbor, repair the landscaping, and carefully drag the chair back inside. Social media users were enthralled by the footage, dubbing it the rolling chair catastrophe. The chair, now fully functional but scarred from its journey, serves as a daily reminder that delivery and natural forces are rarely on speaking terms. 34. The purse that escaped. A woman in Texas ordered a designer handbag online. Delivery day, the driver placed the package on a front step. That night, a raccoon apparently mistook the box for a midnight snack. By morning, the package had been dragged halfway across the yard, chewed through in places, and partially covered in mud. The woman called the delivery company, who insisted it had been delivered securely. Secured? Only if you consider wildlife activity a security feature. She had to clean and salvage what she could and consider investing in a raccoon-proof security system. The raccoon, meanwhile, became a neighborhood legend, strutting with bits of faux leather like a tiny fashionista. Somewhere, that bag still dreams of being carried, not clawed. 35. The bed frame that went bowling. In Florida, a family ordered a king-sized bed frame. Delivery instructions were assemble inside bedroom. The driver, apparently inspired by Olympic sports, carried it across the porch and slid it down a short ramp. Momentum took over. The frame skidded, bounced off the mailbox, and landed leaning precariously against a tree. The impact dented the frame and scratched the flooring. Customer service insisted delivery was successful, though success here is relative. The family had to brace themselves, reassemble the frame, and endure a full day of frustration. Social media dubbed it the Porch Bowling Challenge, immortalizing the incident in online infamy. The frame now has a permanent lien, a monument to poor judgment and rogue momentum. 36. The pie that met its doom. A bakery in Ohio delivered a custom-made pie for a birthday party. The driver, trying to speed things up, placed the pie on top of the mailbox for safekeeping. Overnight, wind and rain combined for culinary disaster. The pie slid off, landed face down, and exploded like a confetti cannon on the driveway. The frosting smeared across the mailbox, sidewalk, and nearby flower pots. Customer service insisted it was delivered on time, ignoring the minor fact that the celebratory dessert was now a gooey mess. The family had to scramble for a replacement dessert, but the original pie became local legend. Neighbors still joke about the mailbox pie incident, and the bakery now includes strict instructions. Never trust mailboxes with baked goods. Somewhere, that pie's ghost haunts the yard, frosting forever intact. 37. The washing machine that traveled. In New York, a man ordered a washing machine for his apartment. The driver left it at the edge of a snowy driveway. Overnight, a combination of ice and wind sent the machine sliding down the incline, colliding with the mailbox, a decorative lantern, and the recycling bins in a symphony of chaos. By morning, the washing machine was dented, misaligned, and positioned precariously like a metallic sculpture. The homeowner called customer service, which insisted the appliance had been delivered successfully. Successful if the goal was maximum suburban spectacle. The replacement unit arrived later, but the original became a neighborhood cautionary tale, a warning to all that even modern appliances have a propensity for adventure when left in the wrong hands. 38. The TV that took flight. In Colorado, a family ordered a 75-inch flat-screen television. Delivery instructions were simple: place it inside the living room. The driver, however, apparently interpreted this as hover above the living room and release. Footage shows him carefully lifting the massive box onto the porch railing, and then, for reasons lost to history, letting it slip. The TV flew about 4 feet, landing with a spectacular thud that echoed like a funeral bell for electronics. The screen cracked in jagged lines, resembling abstract art more than entertainment. Customer service calmly informed the family it was delivered on schedule. Schedule, yes, but intact? Absolutely not. The family eventually received a replacement, but the original TV became a local legend. Social media dubbed the incident Flight of the Flat Screen, complete with slow-motion replays and dramatic commentary. Somewhere, that TV dreams of a world where gravity is optional and delivery drivers are less ambitious. 39. The Christmas Tree Catastrophe. A woman in New Jersey ordered a 7-foot artificial Christmas tree for her living room. The driver left it leaning against the front door, promising safe delivery. Overnight, a wind gust toppled the tree, sending ornaments scattering across the lawn, breaking a garden statue, and partially denting the mailbox. When the woman arrived, she found her festive centerpiece lying like a fallen soldier, with tinsel strewn across the driveway. Customer service insisted it was delivered as requested, ignoring the minor detail that Christmas spirit had been temporarily crushed. Neighbors later joked it was a preview of the Grinch's revenge. After much negotiation, a replacement arrived, but the original tree remained a cautionary tale. Never trust porch delivery with seasonal decorations. Somewhere, those fallen ornaments still reflect sunlight like tiny witnesses to human error. 40. The recliner that ran away in Florida. A man ordered a reclining chair to complete his living room. The driver, seeing a narrow porch, decided to help by pushing it at an angle rather than carrying it carefully. The chair slid, tipped, and skidded across the wet driveway, denting the metal legs and tearing the upholstery. The homeowner arrived to witness the aftermath, a chair that now looked like abstract sculpture rather than furniture. Customer service insisted delivery was successful, though success clearly required a new definition. The replacement chair arrived days later, but the original remains in the driveway as a memorial to gravity, bad judgment, and suburban delivery nightmares. Social media dubbed the incident the Great Recliner Escape, cementing its legacy. 41. The Cactus Conundrum. A man in Arizona ordered a large potted cactus online. The delivery instructions were clear. Place gently on porch. The driver, however, set the box down roughly. Overnight, the box tilted, causing the cactus to roll onto the neighbor's yard, breaking a ceramic birdbath in the process. Customer service insisted delivery was complete, despite the minor details of broken pottery and potential injury from spines. The man eventually retrieved the cactus, but not without multiple pricks and a newfound respect for the laws of physics. The neighbor now refers to it as the rogue desert warrior, a cactus with a personality shaped by gravity and human carelessness. 42. The espresso machine slide. In New York, a coffee enthusiast ordered a high-end espresso machine. Delivery instructions were, place inside kitchen, no drops. The driver, however, set it on the edge of the porch where overnight frost caused it to slide onto the walkway. The machine hit the ground with a metallic crash, denting the casing and spilling water inside. Customer service claimed on-time delivery, ignoring the functional damage. The homeowner had to call for a replacement and spend hours reinstalling the kitchen counter setup. Footage went viral under the title "Espresso Machine Meets Sidewalk," earning thousands of likes from people who've experienced suburban delivery chaos. Somewhere, that original espresso machine dreams of a world without ice, frost, and rogue porch placement. 43. The laundry detergent disaster. A woman in Illinois ordered a bulk shipment of laundry detergent. Delivery instructions requested placing it on the porch out of sunlight. The driver left it in direct sun, causing several large bottles to expand and burst overnight. By morning, a river of scented liquid covered the porch, staining the floor and attracting a small flock of curious birds. Customer service insisted the delivery was successful, ignoring the mild chemical flood that now required cleanup. The woman had to mop and wash the area, salvage what she could, and wait for replacements. Social media users laughed at the story, calling it Porch Tide Wave Incident, forever memorializing a simple act of negligence. Somewhere, those ruined bottles continue to drip, silently judging delivery drivers everywhere. 44. The frozen pizza avalanche. A family in Minnesota ordered several frozen pizzas for a movie night. The driver, leaving the boxes on the porch, failed to notice a thin layer of ice underneath. Overnight, the boxes slid into each other, stacking like an avalanche. By morning, half the pizzas were squashed, cheese and toppings sticking together in a tragic mosaic. Customer service insisted the delivery was on time and intact, ignoring the culinary catastrophe. The family had to improvise dinner from the remaining slices, which were mostly crust and cardboard. Social media shared the story as the frozen pizza avalanche of 2025, immortalizing the disaster. Somewhere, those pizzas dream of being eaten, not flattened. 45. The Garden Gnome Massacre. A man in Ohio ordered a small lawn decoration set, including delicate ceramic gnomes. The delivery driver stacked them on a dolly and navigated a slight slope. Gravity intervened spectacularly. The gnomes tumbled, smashing into one another and leaving shards of paint and clay scattered across the lawn. Customer service stated the package was delivered successfully. The homeowner spent hours sweeping debris and salvaging what could be salvaged. Online, the story gained traction, humorously dubbed the Gnomepocalypse, as neighbors shared similar tales. Somewhere, those gnomes lie broken, silently judging human negligence. 46. The blender bounce. In Florida, a customer ordered a high-speed blender. The driver left it on a porch step. Overnight, wind and rain combined to send the box bouncing like a rubber ball across the driveway. Inside, the blender suffered minor cracks and misaligned blades. Customer service claimed it was delivered per instructions. The homeowner carefully inspected and salvaged it, though the first smoothie was accompanied by mild trepidation. Social media featured the video under the title "Blender Bounce Disaster," earning laughs and comments from anyone who has feared porch deliveries. Somewhere, that blender dreams of smooth, uninterrupted blending. 47. The vacuum catapult. A man in New Jersey ordered a vacuum cleaner. Delivery day, the driver placed the box precariously on the porch edge. Overnight, a gust of wind turned it into a catapult projectile. The box flew into a flower bed, denting the vacuum and scattering dust bags everywhere. Customer service insisted it was technically delivered. The homeowner salvaged the vacuum with minor repairs. The incident was shared online as the vacuum catapult, gaining laughs and sympathy. Somewhere, the vacuum silently judges porch safety procedures. 48. The grand finale, the pizza oven. Plunge in Texas, a man ordered a countertop pizza oven. Delivery instructions requested placing it on the counter. The driver, however, set it on the porch railing. Overnight, the oven slid, tumbling onto the driveway and partially crushing a mailbox. Customer service insisted it was delivered successfully. The man had to file for a replacement, while neighbors witnessed what looked like a culinary tragedy in slow motion. The oven's journey became a viral hit. The pizza oven plunge, immortalizing porch delivery chaos. Somewhere, that oven dreams of cooking slices, not surviving freefall. Which of these delivery disasters deserves the gold medal for stupidity? Humanity's failures are waiting for your vote.